Hello and welcome to the Bourbon Bear. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all you Chicago residents. Unfortunately, our co-host could not make it this afternoon, but stay safe out there. Don't fall asleep going on the red wine the wrong way. But did want to get a quick video out for the weekend here, just after the monstrous news that the Bears have traded with the Carolina Panthers from the number 1 spot to the number 9 spot for quite a haul. So we're going to go a little bit more of the ramifications of what that means, and also the fact that, adding DJ Moore to this wide receiver group, what that's going to be for the Bears. But we'll start off by grading the trade, and knocked it out of the park. Let's be real. Everyone on the Bears side, at least, thinks this is a slam dunk. I'd give it a 9 out of 10 with the caveat of it not being a 10 out of 10, just being the fact that I thought they could have got the 39 instead of the 49ers second round pick that was traded when the McCaffrey deal happened with Carolina. So we got the 61 instead this year, which is fine. It's only a couple back, but I'm a hard grader, and that's how you get to an A+ in my book. But ultimately now, in terms of draft capital, what you're looking at for the Bears is the number 9, 53, 61, 64, 103, 133, 148, 218, and 258. That is 10 picks this draft, ladies and gentlemen, including, I guess there's 4 right now under 70, which is still pretty good looking at the talent pool of the draft. But hey, I think Poles had to make the move, and he did a great job with it. I was a little confused at why they wanted to do it before the new league year, but if you're getting this haul, that's all you can expect to get. So, in compensation terms, you're getting the number 9 this year. You're getting the number 1 next year, TBD. A number 2 this year at 61, and then a future number 2 in 2025. So I like that a lot. I'm sorry, 2024. No, 2025. Sorry. But I like that overall as a compensation spat because you get DJ Moore, and that solves these issues you've been plagued with at wide receiver since Justin Fields got to Chicago. So now you have a pretty clear-cut 3-man unit out there with Claypool, Moore, and Mooney. That is a perfectly decent receiver room in the NFL. Mercedes Jones-Jr. will see if he can kind of be that 4th guy, especially when they have that 4 option out there. But ultimately, this group went from, I would consider, a C- to a B+. And that is a hell of a change you make in an offseason. So moving on to the draft now. So everyone was speculating that the Bears would trade. The Colts were ultimately a front runner, but I think toward the end and after the combine, Carolina did become that next option. So you trade back from 1 to 9, and I don't follow college football enough, and that's on me, but ultimately, there's still going to be options for you to take right there. So with the news about Jalen Carter and the terrible accident that happened after the Georgia championship game, there is a chance he could drop to 9 now. And if that's the case, I think Poles knocked out of the park, but again, that's also got to be your homework into the severity of his crimes and his character. So I'll leave that up to Poles and the Bears drafting office to figure out how they want to do that there. But the issue I do want to bring up, though, this kind of eliminates you from the Will Anderson conversation. Odds are at 9, there's no chance he's going to be there. But on the flip side, there is a small outside chance that Tyree Wilson will be available. I love his game. The guy is a physical freak, and if he can get dropped to 9, that's a steal. Because looking at the draft order now, before the Bears pick, you're pretty clear are going to have 4 quarterbacks go. So that's 4 off the board right there. Then, of course, you have Will Anderson, who's going to be probably, top 4, and what's kind of where your board is. And then also you have the fact that, where is Jalen Carter going to go? No one knows, but if he can fall to the Bears, him or Tyree Wilson, I love it. I do want to say, though, I think this takes Jackson Smith and Najigba out of the kind of draft board. We really don't need to get another receiver. You can never have enough in the NFL, don't get me wrong, but the capital, it's just kind of not worth it in my mind, but they'll do what they want to do. But it also turns the conversation to Peter Skoronski. I love him as a player. I don't think he's an NFL left tackle. I think he would be a phenomenal guard in kind of the same route that Quentin Nelson's game is similar, but also Tevin Jenkins, which we obviously do need a left guard, but I just can't get behind it at that high of a pick, taking that player. If you did by chance trade down, let's say maybe you drop 5 to 6 picks and he's available, all for it. But at that point, you're getting more capital, which I think you'd need to give out that 9 slot. But ultimately, just wanted to get that update out there and the fact that Poles killed this trade. He made it public at the Combine that teams were calling him, creating packages, whatever they could. And this is a haul you expected to get from a team to move up those 8 spots to get the number 1 pick. What they do with this capital, obviously, is going to TBD. But think about this. Next year, you have 2 first-rounders. You're kind of banking on the fact that Carolina's in a little rebuild, so you're probably going to get a significantly high pick from that next year pick. But I just think a lot of things are going the Bears' way right now. This team this year, now with that receiver group and what they do in the offseason for the offense and defensive line, you can make an argument that this is a playoff caliber team. Again, we don't know what those players are going to be or who they're going to be. But, again, this went from a team I thought would have 5 wins to now you're talking to 8 or 9 in my book. And that's just without even adding these free agent linemen. So, ultimately, I have a lot of confidence in what the Bears are building here. I think Poles, when he came as a GM, did the right thing. We kind of tore it down, traded Roquan. It is what it is. I lost a lot of good people, but this is where you want a team to be right now. You want to be either on the way end of the kind of rebuild, or you want to be at the top. You don't want to be in that limbo of 6 to 7 wins, and then you just got a terrible pick, and it's kind of is what it is. But I think what these trades are going to do is going to establish the Bears as an actual threat this year and possibly sneak into that wild card spot. Also going into DJ Moore a little bit more, though. So his contract was signed before this receiver renaissance happened, where all these receivers are commanding crazy amounts of money. And this year, I think the cap it's around $20 million, but this is a 3-year, $51 million deal. That is cheap, guys. That is a steal. Think about that. You're talking paying receivers $25 million these days. That is a team-friendly deal which allows you to build all of those other pieces you need in this team to be successful. And that being said, this is a no guaranteed money deal, by the way. So they can restructure this deal however they want to. So if there is some moves they want to make this offseason, that's a great starting point. Again, I think they're going to keep it as it is just because it is that friendly. But hey, Bears will take care of that in the offseason. We'll come out with a video next week in regards to the top free agents we're looking at as the free agency period begins on Monday. So bear down, my friends. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Very happy with the trade. Go Bears.